What's poppin', world? Y'all tapped in with the Head of the Game podcast. Yet once again, we got a controversial discussion that we got to talk about. So without further ado, y'all read the title. Let's get right into it. I know. I've been gone for quite a few days. I know y'all miss me, man. And for that delay and stuff like that, I got a video I thought out. Took a lot of time to process this. Only about a couple of points, and I feel like the rest of it, I'm just gonna improvise, right? So let's get right into it. So a couple hours ago, I was on my phone going over a couple of videos and stuff like that, and there was this one video in particular that had sparked a thought that I wanted to expand on. I wanted to have a conversation with y'all, right? So, should a man be in a position for a woman to build him, or should a woman build a man, right? I'm going to explain both sides of this. I'm going to explain it from the man's position, and I'm going to explain it from the woman's position, and then I'm going to bring it back full circle so that y'all can kind of get a big understanding of why I even thought about this in the first place, right? So, first point, going off with the men's and stuff like that. If you are a person where, let's think of an example, right? Something to be able to, I guess, have an analogy or whatever, right? So if there's a man, right, let's say late 20s, he's on his way, trying to be who he's trying to be. He got great potential. He ain't there yet, but he's on his way to it, right? And let's say this person ends up meeting a woman. And the woman, she's beautiful, she's supportive, she got all these attributes and additives and great character and stuff like that. And all in all, he's just very appreciative, and she's just a woman of value that I just feel like most guys, at least with a certain amount of sense, would appreciate, right? And value. Let's say that this woman comes into his life, and everything he had going on, it accelerates only due to the fact that now he's more motivated because he got his exterior motivation. He wants to impress her, upkeep with her, elevate and provide her an experience or a quality of life that she deems, respectful, right? And let's say he's moving up through the ranks. He once had a job, now he's career orientated, now he's in entrepreneurship, and now he's in a position where he's just successful out of his wildest dreams. Now, in most case scenarios on the surface, that would just be seeming like a dream. Like, okay, I was working on myself, I got all this potential, then this woman that she's beautiful, she's successful, career orientated, a great support system, right? And it's not to take away what women, it's not to sit up there and say that a woman shouldn't be a support system for a guy, right? Speak life into him and motivate him and stuff like that. But here's the flip side to this, right? If a woman is in position in a guy's life to where he eventually ends up hitting the crescendo or his full potential, and she had to basically go out her way to, not only support, but invest and endorse and all this other stuff, yeah, she's going to want an investment on her return. You feel me? So if she got you at a low price, and I'm not sure what buck it was. I think it was $50 laws of power, right? About 50 cents. And I don't want to misquote it, but basically what was said is like the Fortune 500 is really the Fortune 250 is only because most, if not all, the CEOs and the owners of all these big corporations and stuff like that are married. And if they go through a divorce, half of that money goes to the woman. And, and I'm not sure you got to pay alimonies, so on and so forth. But the main thing about it is just like looking at it like 50% maybe be a little extreme, but you can't take away what the woman wasn't for that person. Now, it's easy to sit up there and say like, oh, the guy would have been who he was with or without her, but that's not what happened. So we can't go off of what if, you feel me? We gotta go off of what actually happened, and more so times than not, you feel me? As a guy, if he's wildly successful, he's married. You know, it may be, and then lots of people get married for different reasons. I don't want to go into all that, but the point is that that's just the optics, right? So yeah, you really can't, you know, dismiss or downplay the woman's position when it comes down to the impact that she had on that individual, especially if she's the one that had to go out her way, expend her resources, her time, her energy to pour into the guy. It's not to say that he wasn't pouring back into her. You feel me? To give him that exterior motivation to make him, go up and beyond, right? And this is why I just tell, especially like younger guys and stuff like that, like, you don't have to have everything successful and set in place, but make sure you're just interdependent or independent. You know, you're just out your folks' house. You know, if you got a roommate, you're sharing a car, you got 1 or 2 jobs, you're just starting out, getting your legs up under you, that's fine. You know, no pressure, no rush, but just get out your people's house, right? And I'm just leave it at that. Now, the woman's standpoint, right? So, if a woman's in a position to, quote unquote, build a man, you know, and she's already at a place of success and, you know, wealth and stuff like that, and she sees a potential in a guy, and like, hey, you know, and I'm not gonna sit up there and act like I've never been that guy where a female went out her way and bet on my potential. Like, okay, I'm gonna invest, I'm gonna sit up there and, you know, do what I can to basically be the person, hopefully get this person to be where he needs to be at, so I don't have to think about what he is already, right? I'm not gonna say like I don't know what that's like or I'm unfamiliar with that, right? But here's the thing. A woman can love you and a woman can respect you. And sometimes the two aren't mutually exclusive. In certain aspects, they are, right? And I'm gonna explain why. So if a woman meets you at a certain level, more so times than not, she's probably gonna, not to sit up there and say she's gonna intentionally hold your past against you, but whatever she found you as is gonna be what she knows you for. So regardless of how successful you are, no matter how hard you work towards it, I'm not saying all women, I'm just saying this is just human nature, right? And if you got a child, right? If you got a child and the child becomes this wildly successful, you know, abundant, you know, prolific individual, a part of you is going to still say like, hey, this person is still the same person that I was changing diapers and making food and taking to school. Like, you're going to see that first, even though you're trying to relearn this person in their new reality. And I feel like that goes the same for relationships and stuff like that. So I'll bring you an analogy. It's like having your A to B car, you know, it's reliable, the parts are cheap, you know, the maintenance is affordable, and then having your ideal, you know, dream car, but you can't afford the upkeep, the maintenance, you know, the parts is foreign and stuff like that. Like, yeah, it's nice on the outside, I got all the bells and whistles and so on and so forth, but for the most part, you know, it just comes down to what you want over what you need, what's good to you or what's good for you, you know, and just understanding and being able to weigh out the differences. You know, in some ways it can be two of the same or neither, but more so than not, you got to sit up there and you got to make your choices, right? So I'm just leave it at that. I want to see what y'all think. You know, if you get thoughts, opinions, comments, leave them below and stuff like that. More videos on the way. I'm up out of here. Thanks for watching.